Hey there. So I'm over here in the Cleburne house and spray foam is up. Very excited. If you look over here, you'll see piles of sheetrock. Look at it. Lots of sheetrock. Soon that'll be all over the walls and it'll look like a different house. That's very exciting. Now, I want to talk to you guys about be ready when your time comes, okay? Maybe you're at a stoplight and the person up front, the light turns green. They're not ready. They're not even paying attention. They're looking at their phone. And you're like, I need you to be ready when the time comes so you can get out of my way so I can get this green light because I got other stuff to do. Maybe, I don't know, a job's coming up or whatever in the world it may be. Be ready when your time comes. When you're waiting in line and then all of a sudden at a restaurant or something, fast food, and you're waiting in line, you're sitting there for what feels like an eternity, and finally the person in front of you is like, oh, it's my turn. And then they begin to look at the menu. I don't know. Is there any way, can I get spinach? They're like, this is McDonald's. And I'm like, oh, so can I get like a kale shake? And you're like, it's McDonald's. You've known about this your entire life. Please get this right. But they're not gonna. They're going to sit there and like, this is the first time they've ever looked at a menu and this is the first time they've ever looked at a McDonald's menu, even though you know that can't possibly be true. So be ready when your time comes. That's very important. Now, what's more important than that is to be ready when your time comes at the end, okay? Now, I've known a lot of people that have died, and I've known some that it was not the best death. And I've known some, and I'm like, I have mad respect for you. You were ready when the time came. I hope that I'm ready when the time comes. I feel like I will be, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I could be an absolute coward. I don't know. This one lady, we were friends, and she got a diagnosis from the doctor that said she had pancreatic cancer. Now, if you don't know, pancreatic cancer has a 5% survival rate after 1 year, which means it's a pretty aggressive killer and it kills you pretty quickly. I've known several people that have had it and almost every one of them has gone pretty quickly. So she got her diagnosis, and of course you have options, right? You can change your diet and you can do a bunch of things. You can try to fight it. You can go get chemo. You can just live with it and hope for the best. You can pray. This is what she chose to do with her diagnosis. She left. She heard you're going to die and there's, not much you can do about it. It's going to happen. She went and she talked to a friend of mine who you guys know. And she said, well, I never have to go to the doctor again. I'm ready for the next chapter of my life. I'm ready to go home and see Jesus. She didn't cry about it. She didn't complain about it. She didn't fight it. She didn't say, poor me, why me, nothing like that. She just accepted it and went, well, if that's what God has for me, then that's what God has for me. And I'll accept that. And I'm happy I never have to go to the hospital again because that's a miserable place. And not very long after, I think I might not have even got an opportunity to see her because it happened that quickly. She died. And at her funeral, somebody got up and said, she made everybody feel like they were the most important person in the room. But the truth is that nobody really realized is that she was the most important person in the room. And I thought that's a powerful testimony, that somebody that makes you feel like you're the most important person actually is the most important person. And somebody that received a very scary a death sentence just stood up in the middle of it and said, well, good then. I'm ready to go home anyway. I hope I have that kind of courage. I hope you guys do too. Be ready when your time comes. Love you. Oh, hey there. So, as you well know, on this project, we have to put in a rainwater system. So it's a 30,000 gallon tank, and we had to level this and then put cushion sand down so that it will be nice and soft so that we don't penetrate our liner. And then all the gutters will come into this and it'll be fantastical. Now, wait, what is that? Oh, you guys can't see it. That's weird. So, Alan, serious question for you. How many stars are there in this solar system?
I don't know. I've never counted them, John.
It's a very specific number. What do you think it is?
237 million.
That is incorrect. It's a much smaller number. How many stars are there in this solar system?
1.
That's correct. Where is it?
It's right there.
Right
it's
there.
called
It's
the
shining
sun.
right in my face. Yeah, it's shining right in my face. It's the sun. Some people call it Sol. So out of all the 9 planets, or 8, however many we're going to count right now, which one do you think is God's favorite?
Earth.
Go fish.
Which is God's favorite?
Yeah, of the solar system, of the 9 planets, which one's God's favorite?
I just gave my answer.
Saturn.
Saturn.
Yeah, because he put a ring on it. Oh, hey there. So, it's a little loud in here right now, but I want to show you sheetrock. Look at this. It's amazing. The angels have sung. Maybe not angels, but me. And here, come real quick. Look at this. It's amazing. You're working so hard now. I don't speak Spanish, but I don't think that I have to understand that this music is not any good. That's not nice. That's not nice. Other people have different tastes in music than I do, and that's fine. I'm sure, it's wonderful, wonderful music. How about the fact that nobody is a villain in their own story? Okay, so here's what I mean. You talk to somebody and they're like, let me tell you what this other person did. And then they do. They tell you all the bad things that they did and how come they're right. But then you talk to the other person and they're like the exact same thing, but flipped. Like, oh yeah, well, let me tell you all the reasons that they're wrong and why I'm right. And you're like, okay. This also works in politics. It also works in literally everything, where everybody thinks that they're right and everybody else is wrong. Not just wrong, but an idiot. Makes you wonder, like, maybe there's 2 sides to every story. Maybe there's 3 sides to every story. There's like your side and my side and then the right side, which is, you know, somewhere in the middle. There's a story of Joshua in the Bible, and he's walking around, he realizes, I gotta fight a big battle, and then he runs into the angel of the Lord. And the angel of the Lord talks to him and he says, wait a minute, are you for their side or for our side? And here was his response. Are you ready? He said, no. And then he started to give him directions. He didn't say, I'm on your side or their side. He just said, no. Sometimes we probably ought to be more neutral. Not like I hate you and your side's wrong or bad or anything, but maybe when somebody says they're an idiot, don't just take their word for it. Look into it. Like for me, I give you proof I'm an idiot. Anyway, we're gonna get back to it. Oh, hey there. So all the sheetrock is up, and now it's quiet, so you're not hearing which is amazing. Billy Feaster and his guys do amazing work, and Sharon. So I'm so very happy. Now, I just want you guys to know, I think this paints a good picture of like, it's never too late to follow your dreams. Unless your dream is to become a childhood actor and you're already an adult. Then I would say it's too late. It's too late to follow that dream. Maybe find a different dream, follow that one. Oh, hey there.
That was really extra.
That was a beautiful reaction. All right, so it's a nice cool day in Texas. As you can tell, I'm in the shade. I always see the shadiest people underneath trees. It's a little hot, but I'm a victim and it's everybody else's fault, yeah. Which is a standard issue thing in America these days. Now, we rented a trencher. It's on the trailer, so I can't show you, but when I went to rent the trencher, I was like, look, I don't have a license to operate a trencher. And then he laughed at me, and I was like, what am I gonna do? Do I need to take a class or something and get registered through the government? Because that's the way everything else works. And he said, I'm gonna give you a license to till. And I was like, thank you. And so we tilled, and it was wonderful. And then our electrician's gonna come in and put in conduit and wiring, and then this job will be done. Thank you, City of Arlington, for making it such a smooth and simple, easy process. Now, I don't like fast food, and so I like to go really slowly through the drive-through. Oh, hey there. So, a lot of you, when I use the word fish tape, I can tell that you glaze over and you have this look like you got tape that smells like fish. I'm like, no. And they're like, it looks like fish. I'm like, still no. You can use it underwater. I'm like, no, just stop talking. Is it fish? Is it tape that's made out of fish, like glue is made out of horses? I'm like, can I just tell you what it is? All right, so a fish tape is this. You go fishing with this long thing, right? So you put this through the conduit, it goes to the other end, don't look over there, it's 100 feet away. And then we hook the wires up to it, and then we pull it back through. And that's really amazing. Now I had my electrician give me permission to show you how that works because he's cool like that. Obviously I would never do my own electrical work because I'm not that kind of a guy. So many times, yesterday it happened twice, people say to me, but you don't look rich. I'm like, well, that should tell you something. And they're like, but like, I would never, yesterday he said to me, I would never suspect that you're rich. I'm like, cool, thanks. He goes, like, never. Like, I would never suspect it. I'm just like, I get it. I look poor. You win this one. Whatever, right? So I think what he's trying to say and be nice is that, you know, he doesn't know anybody who has any money who would be humble and kind and talk to them like a person and not belittle them and, you know, just come in and smile and not throw his weight around. And I'm like, the truth is you probably know more rich people than you think, okay? So I heard this stat a long time ago, like probably 20 years ago. And it said that the average millionaire in America makes about $249,000 a year, has 3.2 kids, drives a Ford pickup truck, has about $3.2 million in assets, and, you know, they own their own house and so on and so forth. So, you know, your net worth would be, if you took everything that you had and you sold it, you paid off your debt, whatever's left over, that's your net worth, right? So if that's over $1 million, then technically you're a millionaire. Obviously, if you have $1 million in cash, you're also a millionaire. If you have both of that, you're still a millionaire. Anyway, I think that we have a misconception, right? We see people that are flashy, that drive fancy cars, that have expensive stereo systems, that like wear really nice clothes, things like that, and we go, ooh, they're rich. But the truth is that that person is probably a paycheck away from poverty. They spend everything they've got, and if anything comes bad, then their house of cards comes crashing down. It's not good. Whereas even somebody that's poor doesn't have that far to fall. Like they go, oh, well, I'm still poor. I'm still dead broke. You're like, nothing has changed. Like, where you at? Dead bottom? Can you fall any farther? No. And then like something bad happens, like, ugh. But there's just, it's not a long fall, right? But you're spending all this money and you've got huge house payments and huge car payments and credit card bills and debt all over the place. And all of a sudden you're like, it's not a fun life. We've all been there, I assume. Maybe not you guys, but me. And it's not a fun life. And so it's a lot better to live your life far below your means and be like, yeah, I'm comfortable, I'm happy. Because if you have money and you're spending all your money living like everybody else, like a poor person, you're doing it wrong. Also, I think that true riches, like if you want to have true riches, and Jesus says this, like, how will I trust you with true riches if you can't even handle what you've got now? And I think that a lot of us probably can't handle what we have right now. And the thought of actually having true riches is like, no. Now, I want you to understand that this doesn't necessarily mean managing your money and getting stocks and retirement funds and all these things. I think what it means more than that is, are you a loving, kind person? Are you generous? Do you have compassion for people? Those are the qualities that he's looking for. Because at the end of life, when it comes time to judgment, then he looks at the person that has done something with what he gave them. And it doesn't matter how much he gave you, whatever your portion is, if you take that portion and you use it with increase, right? Some 30 times, 60 times, some 100 times as much as what they were given in the first place. Then at the end of life, he goes, take from the person that did nothing with what I gave them and give it to the person who has 10, and you're gonna be in charge of 10 cities. Now this person maybe wasn't necessarily a business person, but they did all the things that Jesus asked. And he's like, that's the kind of people, I can train you to run a city, but I can't train you to have a good heart. And so I say, use what you've got to make the most of your life, because it will go and you won't have it anymore. But be kind to people, be loving to people, it matters. That is what matters. Stay true to God, love your neighbor as yourself. And you know, it's a valuable asset to have neighbors that love you and that you love them, that you can go and talk to them, that when something happens, you have a friend, a listening ear, somebody to help you push your car, whatever in the world it might be. So invest your life in those things. Money comes and goes. All right, we're gonna get back to work. Oh, hey there. Come closer. I want to show you something. Now, this is for entertainment purposes only. I don't want you to wire your own house unless you're a licensed electrician. I would never do it. Anyway, let's say you got 2 wires coming in. We're gonna wire up an outlet. How do you do it? First of all, you cut in the middle of your room right there. Make sure you get your hand out of the way. Then there's just got this stupid paper around here, and cut that off, okay? Now there's another one, same story. Boom goes the dynamite. Get that out of the way. Okay. I guess my knife's pretty sharp. Okay, so now we're gonna get the grounds. The grounds are the bare wires, okay? We'll twist those together. Hopefully you got some wire strippers. And then you're gonna twist those together. Then you're gonna cut off the extra. And you're gonna twist that together a little bit. Twist that back in the box so you don't have a big fat mess. Cut off the extra, make a little curl thing. Now, your outlet. There's a green screw, there's 2 white screws, there's 2 brass screws. The green screw, that's your ground, okay? Does it matter which one's which? No, there's only one. It doesn't even make sense to think such a stupid thing as that. Then you tighten it up. Tight connections matter. Okay. Now, we want to cut off the extra. Now we want to strip them back. This is 12 gauge wire. Yellow is 12 gauge wire, which is for 20 amp circuits. You really can't do anything less than 12 gauge wire anymore because they won't allow it. It's illegal. And we all know I'm a strong follower of the law, so. Stop not that much. Make yourself some little curly keys on that stuff too. It's going to be amazing. And then, so on the 14 gauge, you can backstab them because they've got outlets that'll do that. But, like I said, you can't 14 gauge. Okay, so then you take that, you pinch it down so that it looks like this and it's good and tight. You see that? Yep. And then we tighten that screw. And then, same story, hold on. Get my stupid hand out of the way here. Boom, you see it? And then we'll tighten that down. Flip that over. Oh, I'm sorry. White screws, or white wires go to silver screws, and brass screws go to black. And your black is your hot, your white is neutral, and your green is your ground. Okay? So the black ones are the ones that'll shock you. In case you're wondering, like, I wonder what part of this I can touch and what I can't touch. Obviously the circuit's not on right now, but if it was, the black one would be the one that would shock me. Okay? Now it helps to have man hands. I assume that you do. We're going to tighten that sucker up. And then, get this stuff out of my face. And we're going to push this stuff in. And it's a bit of a challenge. 14 gauge is very easy, but 12 gauge is a little bit more of a challenge. And hopefully you got a drill handy. And you don't plug in a cordless drill because that's dumb. And you do this. Now it's got a little slot on there, so if it's not straight, then you can just loosen it and move it around. Put your plate on there, and you're done. Hope you guys learned something. Oh, hey there. It's been a little hot today. This, a lot of people are going to frown on this because it's going to sound worse than it is. This is white power strip right here. You put different outlets in here, and then it can distribute power through this white power strip. So we worked hard all day. The sun was hot, and so was I. But I want to talk to you guys about hotness because I think that a lot of you are like, I don't think I'm that hot. And even like really hot girls are like, I'm just not hot. And here's why I think the problem is, okay? There is an illusion. There's a lie going around that if you don't look a certain way, then you're not beautiful, okay? And it's impossible to look like somebody else, right? Everybody's made unique. Everybody has their own characteristics and their own things that make them beautiful. And if you waste all your time being like, I wish I looked like this icon, you'll be miserable because you can't look like them. And so you spend all this money and all this time on plastic surgery. And I know what you're thinking. Plastic surgery used to be really taboo. And now you mention the word Botox, nobody even raises an eyebrow because they physically can't. Because they're like, I think I look good, right? Don't you think I look good? And you're like, I think you look better if you were yourself. You're beautiful. Why would you mess that up? You're all beautiful. So here's the thing, right? A rose is beautiful and a tulip is beautiful And like, I don't know, a bonsai tree is beautiful. But if a bonsai tree spent all its time trying to look like a rose, you'd be like, you look kind of not so great. You don't look like a good rose or a good bonsai tree. You look like a mess. You look like bad plastic surgery, like a plastic dinosaur. Or vice versa. If a tulip was like, I wish I was a rose, and spent all its time being depressed, then you'd be like, but you're a beautiful tulip. Enjoy that. You have qualities about you that are beautiful, that people are like, oh, I love tulips. You're like, but don't you love roses? I thought you loved roses. You're like, I love roses and tulips and bonsai trees and all kinds of things that God created that are all beautiful in their own way. But we don't have to be, like if a tiger was like, I wish that I was a pear tree, you'd be like, but you're a beautiful tiger. Be what you are. Be the best person that you can be. Stop listening to all those lies. They're just trying to sell you stuff. You're better than that. Oh, hey there. What are you doing on your Sunday? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I came over to Andrea's house. Look at this.
Hi, guys.
This is Andrea. Now, sometimes you see a diamond in the rough, and Andrea is that. She
Thank you.
does beautiful work, and she just showed me some of this, and I was like, people have to see this. This is amazing. So you can commission her to paint stuff like this. This is pottery that she painted by hand.
These terracotta pots.
Yeah,
That's
I
my
mean,
base. This one's still bare. I haven't coated anything.
It's not finished, but
it's
turn
a
it
work in progress.
yeah,
I mean,
but look how beautiful that is, right?
it'll be much
And
better.
goodness gracious, how nice is that? That looks like you did that with a professional printer or something like that.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
And then you grow cactuses and cacti?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
I have my little collection and growing.
Because you're quite the botanist, right?
I try.
Yeah. And so people could be like, hey, Andrea, I really like whatever, and then you could paint that because you're an amazing artist.
Yeah, I will do my best. I will lie and say that I can do it and attempt it and hope for the best. And then, yeah, there you go.
I think that's beautiful. I think that's absolutely beautiful. We should support people that do good work.
Well, thanks.
I love it. Encourage her. Oh, hey there. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but they've invented this new technology where you can see through walls, and it doesn't take special binoculars or glasses or anything. It's just you cut a hole in it, and then it's called a window. And we got one over here, and we put one over here. Really amazing. Now, Justin has been telling me some jokes over the weekend, and his other one was this: how do you ask a deaf person if they want to buy fish? Do you want to buy fish? That's how you do it. It's really rude. Don't actually do that. That's not nice. You should definitely not do that. All right, so speaking of stupid things, is your refrigerator running? If so, I might vote for it in the next election. Now, let me tell you why, okay? I feel like in America, we got 350 million people, right? Let's assume that half is on one side and half's on the other side, okay? So each side should be like, who's the best candidate? And then we'll put our best person forward, and we'll put our best person forward, and the people will be like this, I don't know, that's a good choice, but that's also a good choice. It's tough, they're both really good choices. That's how it should be, okay? I don't know why nobody gets this. My entire life, the other option has been like, okay, so this guy isn't too bad because he only has a crackhead son and only a bunch of scandals. But your guy is orange and he sends mean tweets and he has a bunch more scams and controversy or whatever. Oh yeah, well your guy's an idiot because this, and your guy's an idiot because this. I'm like, couldn't we just find two decent people? I mean, would that be so hard? So we're like, is it this one or this one? They're both such great choices. I mean, they're the top two people out of 350 million Americans. Either one of these would be great. Incorrect. The entire time spent arguing. Do we actually get anything done? No, because we spend all our time going, you're an idiot. No, you're an idiot. No, you're an idiot. Back and forth. If your refrigerator is running, I'll vote for it. Oh, hey there. So a lot of you are like, I wonder what the heat index is in Texas. And here's what happens. They give you some number like, oh, it's only 109 today. And then we're like this. That's not too bad. I mean, it's kind of like opening up the oven when you're checking to see how the cookies look. But then, you can't close the oven door and there's no cookies and then you're feeling like you're gonna die. So let's get closer up here. So you see that? That's 125 degrees. That's what the grass is. Yeah. Okay, that's 125. Let's shoot over there in the shade. In the shade. In the shade, it's 106 degrees. Yeah. You can see that?
In the shade.
In the shade. What is this black hose? Let's get on that black hose. Jump down there so you can see it. That's 147 degrees.
147.
Yeah, on that black hose. And I can verify that because I came out here to spray some water and I was like, I feel like it's boiling. Now I know that boiling is not 147 degrees, it's 212. But if it was Celsius, whew, that'd be so hot. Now think about that. If it was 147 degrees Celsius, Warren, how do you think we'd be doing right now? Dead. We'd be dead. We'd be very, 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 very dead. I heard something earlier, Justin told me this, that somebody walked outside to cook their chicken, to take it to the barbecue grill or whatever, but then by the time they got to the barbecue grill, they looked down and they're like, darn it, and their chicken was already cooked because they just walked out inside of this stuff. It's really hot. Make sure you drink lots of water and Gatorade. Eat banana. Show them the banana, Warren. Hey, what's the temperature of that banana? You just got out of the fridge, right?
Yeah.
Let's take a look. Come on over here. Oh, there you go. Fresh out of the fridge, it's 89 degrees. That's how hot it is in Texas. So in case you're thinking to yourself, I'm pretty hot. If you're inside, you're not as hot as I am. Oh, hey there. So we got some brick up here and we did some other things, got lights in and outlets and ran conduit and stuff. It's amazing. We put in a gate. You don't have to look at it. It's a gate. You've seen them before. They're amazing. Not like Hell's Gates. It's different. It's more like just the gate to get in here. Totally different. So a lot of times throughout my life, I've seen people do this and they're like, I don't care about this person. I'm just gonna like take advantage of them and then move on with my life. And what I do doesn't matter. There is no consequence. And I'll never have to see this person again. And then you know what happens? Some time passes. Maybe a little bit of time, maybe a lot of time. Maybe it's later that day. But then you see that same person again, and you're like, I really shouldn't have been a douche to them because turns out now they're my boss or whatever. They're the gatekeeper to something that I need, and I've been mean to them. It's important to be nice to people, no matter what. When I was very young, when I was 17, okay, so that's very young. Somebody said to me, John, God is preparing us to be citizens of heaven. I was like, I'm lost. She's like, look, the relationships that you start here need to last forever. And if you want them to last forever, you have to be nice to people so that you can go see them again next week and next month and next year and in 1,000 years and in 1,000,000 years. And that you don't have something you're like, man, I'm really sorry for the way that I treated you because that was not nice. I should not have treated you like that or taken advantage of you or really anything. And I just want to let you know I'm real sorry. So if you don't want to be like that all the time, forever, be nice to people. Think about that before you do something mean or bad. Be like, I'm about to do and then stop, pause, and think forward. Will I see them again? And if you think, no, I won't, you're wrong. But if you think, will I see them again soon or later or eventually or in heaven? You might want to be like, I'm not going to do that mean thing because what you say and do matters and it will catch up with you. I'm just saying. We're going to go on to the next job.